Let me ask you something honest. When you sit down at the end of the day, do your legs feel like they belong to someone twice your age? That dragging, heavy, aching feeling that starts in your calves and works its way up. The socks that leave deep marks around your ankles by evening. The feet that never quite warm up, even when the rest of you is perfectly comfortable. If any of that sounds familiar, I want you to know something important before we go any further. That is not just aging. That is not something you simply have to accept. That is your body telling you, in the clearest language it knows, that your circulation needs support, and there are specific, affordable, science-backed things you can do starting today to answer that call. I am going to walk you through the drinks that genuinely move the needle on leg circulation, explain exactly why they work inside your body, give you a practical protocol you can start tomorrow morning, and finish with 3 seated exercises that turn your own leg muscles into powerful blood pumps. No gym, no equipment, no standing required. Stay until the end because the last exercise uses a principle that cardiologists refer to as the second heart. Most people have never heard of it, and once you understand it, you will never sit through a long afternoon the same way again. If this is useful to you, hit the subscribe button right now so you never miss a video like this one, and share it with someone whose legs have been bothering them. Let's get into it. First, you need to understand what is actually happening inside your legs when circulation slows down, because once you see the mechanism clearly, everything else in this video will make perfect sense. Your heart pumps blood down to your legs with gravity working in its favor. That part is relatively easy. The hard part is getting the blood back up against gravity, through increasingly narrow vessels, all the way back to your heart. Inside your leg veins, there are tiny one-way valves designed to prevent blood from sliding back down. As we age, those valves weaken. Blood begins to pool in the lower legs. That pooling is what causes the heaviness, the swelling around the ankles, the skin discoloration, the cramps that jolt you awake at night. At the same time, something else is happening at the level of the blood vessels themselves. The inner lining of your arteries, called the endothelium, naturally produces a molecule called nitric oxide. Nitric oxide is what keeps your vessels relaxed, wide, and flexible. It is the reason blood moves freely rather than struggling through narrowed, stiffened pipes. The challenge is that nitric oxide production declines significantly with age and with poor diet. When it drops, blood vessels constrict, circulation slows, fluid accumulates in the tissues. The legs feel exactly the way yours have been feeling. The good news is that this process is not fixed. Certain foods and drinks contain compounds that directly stimulate nitric oxide production, relax blood vessel walls, and improve the flow of blood to your extremities. Not over months, often within hours of consumption. The research on this is not fringe science. It is backed by thousands of clinical studies across multiple decades. Let's talk about what actually works. Beetroot juice. This is the one I want to start with because it is the most thoroughly studied, the most widely available, and in terms of its direct impact on leg circulation, it is genuinely in a category of its own. Beetroot is exceptionally rich in dietary nitrates. When you drink beet juice, those nitrates are absorbed quickly into your bloodstream. Bacteria in your mouth begin converting nitrates to nitrites almost immediately. Then, in the slightly acidic environment of your stomach, those nitrites are converted into nitric oxide, the very molecule your blood vessels need to relax and open up. Research published in the Journal of Applied Physiology found that older adults who drank beetroot juice daily for 2 weeks showed a 45% improvement in leg blood flow, a significant reduction in arterial stiffness, and meaningful improvement in walking endurance. These are not marginal changes. These are the kinds of numbers that translate into real life: getting up from a chair more easily, walking to the end of the block without stopping, sleeping through the night without leg cramps. 8 ounces of pure beet juice every morning on an empty stomach. That is the protocol. Empty stomach matters because it maximizes nitrate absorption by the pure pressed variety with no added sugars or preservatives, or juice for medium. Beats yourself if you have a juicer. The taste is earthy and naturally sweet. If it is too strong, dilute with water or a small amount of apple juice. One harmless note: a small percentage of people notice that their urine turns pink after drinking beet juice. This is completely normal, completely harmless, and it simply means your digestive system is absorbing the pigments efficiently. Do not be alarmed. If you have a history of kidney stones, speak to your doctor first, as beets are high in oxalates. For the vast majority of people, beet juice is not only safe but genuinely therapeutic. Hibiscus tea: this one is criminally underused, and I want to change that. Hibiscus flowers contain a combination of organic acids, anthocyanins, and polyphenols that work together to lower blood pressure, reduce arterial inflammation, and improve blood flow in a way that is measurable within days. A 6-week study found that regular hibiscus tea consumption reduced blood pressure by an average of 11 points and improved blood flow by over 30%. For leg circulation specifically, hibiscus works by improving the function of the endothelium, that inner lining of the blood vessels we discussed earlier. When the endothelium is healthier, it produces more nitric oxide on its own. This means the effects of hibiscus tea compound over time rather than fading. 2 tea bags steeped in hot water for 10 minutes, twice a day, morning and late afternoon. The flavor is tart, almost like cranberry. If you need a touch of sweetness, a small amount of stevia or honey works well without spiking blood sugar. One important caution: hibiscus can lower blood pressure meaningfully, which is a benefit for most people, but if you are already on blood pressure medication, speak with your doctor before making this a daily habit. The combination can occasionally bring pressure down further than intended. Celery juice: celery has a reputation that got inflated and then dismissed, but for circulation specifically, the science is legitimate and worth your attention. Celery is one of the highest natural sources of dietary nitrates among vegetables. One 16-ounce glass of fresh celery juice delivers approximately 250 milligrams of nitrates, enough, according to research published in the journal Hypertension, to increase blood flow by 35 to 40% within 3 hours of drinking it. Importantly, the same research found that dietary nitrates from whole vegetables were more effective at improving circulation than synthetic nitrate supplements. The food matrix matters. Drink it on an empty stomach first thing in the morning for maximum absorption. For 5 large celery stalks yield roughly 1 glass of juice. The taste is earthy, salty, and takes some getting used to, but the results justify the effort. If you do not have a juicer, blending the stalks with a small amount of water and straining through a fine mesh cloth works well enough. Watermelon juice: watermelon earns its place here through a different mechanism than the nitrate-rich drinks above, and it is one that most people have never heard of. Watermelon is the richest natural source of an amino acid called L-citrulline. Unlike dietary nitrates, L-citrulline takes a slightly different biochemical route. Your kidneys convert it into L-arginine, which is then used directly by your endothelial cells to produce nitric oxide. Think of it as a backdoor delivery of the same raw material your blood vessels need. One 16-ounce glass of fresh watermelon juice provides approximately 1,000 milligrams of L-citrulline. Studies have shown that watermelon juice improved arterial function by 28% after 6 weeks of daily consumption and significantly reduced blood pressure. People report a noticeable warming sensation in their legs within a few hours of drinking it. The practical limitation is seasonal availability. Fresh watermelon is easiest to work with in warmer months. When it is in season, it is among the most effective and affordable circulation supports available. The beet, lemon, and honey elixir. Now let me give you a specific recipe that combines several of these benefits into one drink and makes the whole protocol easier to sustain. You need 1 cup of beetroot juice, 1 to 2 tablespoons of fresh lemon juice, and half a teaspoon of raw honey or a natural sweetener if you prefer to avoid sugar entirely. The reason this combination works so well is layered. The beet juice delivers the nitrates that become nitric oxide and drive vasodilation. The lemon juice contributes vitamin C, which plays a direct role in maintaining the structural integrity of your blood vessels. It supports collagen production in the vessel walls, which keeps them strong and elastic rather than brittle and prone to damage. Vitamin C also acts as an antioxidant that protects nitric oxide from breaking down too quickly once it is produced, and raw honey, while modest in its direct effect, contains flavonoids and polyphenols that reduce oxidative stress and inflammation in the vessel walls, and has been shown in smaller studies to mildly stimulate nitric oxide production itself. Blend all 3 ingredients, pour into a glass, and allow a minute for any foam to settle. Drink it slowly. You can take it before a meal, with a meal, or after the nitric oxide benefits arrive regardless of timing. If the pure beetroot flavor is overwhelming, you can dilute with up to 1 cup of water without meaningfully reducing the effectiveness. The goal is to drink it consistently, which means making it palatable enough that you actually want to. 2 things to keep in mind as you build this habit. First, do not use mouthwash immediately before or after drinking any of these nitrate-rich beverages. The bacteria in your mouth are a critical part of the conversion process. They are the ones converting nitrates to nitrites in your saliva before they even reach your stomach. Antibacterial mouthwash eliminates those bacteria and can reduce the effectiveness of the entire protocol by up to 60%. If you use mouthwash, use it at a different time of day than your circulation drinks. Second, none of these drinks replace prescribed medications. They work alongside your existing care. If your doctor has you on blood pressure medication or blood thinners, have a conversation before making major changes to your diet. These are powerful foods, which means they deserve the same respect and communication as any other therapeutic intervention. Now the exercise piece, because drinks can open the vessels and improve the quality of circulation, but the actual physical return of blood from your legs to your heart depends on something else entirely: muscular contraction. Every time a leg muscle contracts, it squeezes the surrounding veins and forces blood upward through those one-way valves toward the heart. When you sit still, that pump stops completely. Research has shown that after just 60 minutes of sitting without moving, blood flow velocity in the veins behind the knee can drop by nearly half. That is the environment where fluid accumulates, where cramps develop, where those one-way valves take the most stress. The good news is that just 20 seconds of calf muscle activation is enough to largely reset circulation. 20 seconds. Here are 3 exercises you can do entirely from a chair at your kitchen table, in your armchair, while watching television. Start with the seated march, feet flat on the floor, back upright. Lift your right knee a few inches off the seat, then place it down. Lift the left, alternate at a steady, deliberate pace, 1 lift per second, about 60 seconds total. The key is to contract the thigh muscle intentionally with each lift rather than simply swinging the leg, slow and controlled. By the end, you will feel a gentle warmth moving through the upper legs. That warmth is oxygenated blood arriving in tissue that was waiting for it. Next, the seated leg extension with toe point. Slowly straighten your right leg out in front of you until roughly parallel to the floor. Once extended, point your toes away from you. Feel the calf tighten. Hold for 2 seconds. Then pull the toes back toward your shin. Feel the calf stretch and release. Slowly lower the leg. 10 repetitions. On each side, this single movement flushes circulation from ankle to hip in one smooth sequence: quad contraction on the extension, calf contraction on the toe point, full release on the way down. And the most important one, the seated calf pump, feet flat on the floor, hip width apart, keeping the balls of your feet and toes pressed down. Lift both heels as high as they will go. Squeeze the calves hard at the top, then lower slowly. Repeat for 2 continuous minutes at a comfortable pace. This is the exercise cardiologists call the second heart activator because the calf muscles, when contracted rhythmically, function as a genuine mechanical pump that drives venous blood back toward the heart. Every squeeze is a circulation reset. You can do this anywhere, anytime, for as long as you want. Your full daily routine: 60 seconds of the seated march, 10 extensions with toe point on each leg, 2 minutes of calf pumps, 5 to 6 minutes total. Do it at least once a day, afternoon or evening, when fluid has been accumulating for hours. Works especially well. The calf pump alone can be repeated throughout the day whenever you have been sitting for an extended period. Here is the simple framework to bring everything together. Every morning, on an empty stomach, drink 8 ounces of beetroot juice or the beet, lemon, and honey elixir if you prefer the enhanced version. In the afternoon or evening, add either 2 cups of hibiscus tea or a glass of fresh celery juice. Do your 5-minute exercise routine once daily and add calf pumps whenever you have been sitting for more than 30 minutes. That is the complete protocol. No expensive supplements, no prescriptions, no equipment. The total daily cost is approximately $1. Within 3 days, most people report warmer feet and a reduction in that end-of-day heaviness. Within a week, nighttime cramps typically begin to fade. Within 2 to 3 weeks, the difference in ankle swelling and walking endurance is something you can see and feel clearly. Your legs have been carrying you your entire life. The least you can do is give them what they need to keep doing it well. Start tomorrow morning. Leave a comment telling me which drink you are going to try first. And if someone in your life has been living with heavy, aching legs and does not know any of this, share this video with them today. It might be exactly what they have been looking for. Subscribe so you never miss a video. Take care of yourselves. I will see you in the next one.